La 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 la.
And a one fish, two fish. I don't hear myself. I got the headphones on. I don't know. Let's double check. I see the output. Do I have the volume turned on? I have the volume turned on. Let's try this again. Headphones. Mic is on. Camera is on. I do see my audio, but I'm not hearing myself. Oh no. Let's go check, maybe on the YouTube. I am not. Is it my head? Am I in the wrong? I am not. Is it? Oh, there it is. I had the wrong headphone selected. There we go. Is it my head? Am I in the wrong? Oh, there it is. I had the wrong headphone selected. There we go. Oh, perfect, Nugan. Am I in the wrong? Oh, there it is. I had the wrong headphone selected. There we go. All right, everything's sounding good. Am I in the wrong? Oh, there it is. I had the wrong headphone selected. I see. It's Rod Shelley, and we got Napsmore in the house, and we got Art Makes Sense. Cool. Let's do a quick round of shout outs. And if you're not following Napsmore already on Twitch, do so. He's been streaming something. How's this going? Did that work? There we go. There's the generic shout out. Playing the Kerbal Space Program. That's what I caught them streaming the other week. And of course, Rod Shelley. All right, I'm working on. I was actually somewhat productive today. What are we doing? We were working on a rogue outfit, so I'm going to work a bit on that, I think. Just got home from the BBQ place. Also, I started maybe 2 or 3 other projects today, and I got the finishing touches on the Wild Fang outfit. I can never remember what I called this thing. The outfit I can't actually show on Twitch. So that is, I have sent that off to Valkyrie so she can do a texture add-on. It is Kansas City. It is Kansas City. Okay, so what am I talking about? Oh yeah, Wild Fang. Wild Fang is, I'm working on the promos for Wild Fang. So we started this. We kind of have the boots started. We kind of have pants started. I think the pants are in good shape. We kind of have a belt started. I kind of have a top. You know what? I'm going to add a knot to the top. We're going to be a little knotty that way. Working on part mod for KESP today, and you have the geometry build. Ooh, nice. Just trying to move it to Unity. Learning curve is a thing. Yeah, I imagine. Okay, I have a generic knot I'm going to bring in here, although it's a little larger than this. And then we're just going to kind of graft it into here is what we're going to do. So we're going to do that first. This is my generic untieable knot. I'm going to add that like so. Yo, DZ, how are you doing, buddy? Everybody check out our good friend DZang. Super cool modeler, clothing creator. Pick up his stuff over at Daz and Renderosity. Doing fine. Excellent. Yo, Plobby. Here's Plobby. I was watching Plobby the other night. Marvelous Blender streamer and game dev. Check out our good friend Plobby. If you aren't following already, you really need to be. Did that work? Playing art. I think it worked. All right, I'm working on this rogue outfit. I'm going to, right now, I'm adding in a knot. I have this generic knot already made. I have no idea where that went. Where did it go? It's probably inside somewhere. I'm gonna hide the avatar. There it is. There's my generic knot. So we're going to add this to the bottom of the corset, or I guess is this a corset, a bodice? I think this is a bodice, right? I can never tell I never really know the difference. I think I'm going to flip this around. This is 10mm thickness, and I got to switch it to 5mm, so we're going to shrink this down. Unfortunately, Marvelous Designer doesn't have an easy way to say scale by 50%. At least I don't think there is. I'm going to double check. Last time I checked, I didn't see something. That would be a really handy feature, wouldn't it? To be able to type in your value for scaling. I'm gonna distract. Bustier. There we go. It's a bustier. We're also going to add a little cape to this. And I think, oh yeah, and bracers with knives. That's the other thing we're adding to this. But right now I'm working on adding this little knot to the bottom of this. And I'm distracting. I'm running over to Google. And I'm going to put that over there. And we're going to say Marvelous Designer scale by factor. And Marvelous Designer, you can see using the transform pattern tool, shortcut A in the 2D window, or the scale gizmo, or right clicking and put a precise, right clicking on the handles to put a precise, okay. Can I do that? I right clicked on the handle. Now how do I do it? Maybe it's the other handle. Let's try this. If I right click on that, do I get a scale option? AI overview may not know what it's talking about. It says often. Yeah, not in this world. How do you scale objects in Marvelous Designer? Select the desired pattern. Menu display viewport zoom extends all. Press the shortcut key E to F, and then view. That's not what I wanted. That's not what he said. Select the desired. How do you scale objects in Marvelous Designer? And you go on to explain how to zoom. Not useful. Really not useful. Scaling question. My reference image is too large. I already know how to do that. I'm still waiting for the make art button. They have a make art button, but yeah, it's AI. You finally got your, and everybody hates it. Well, not everybody. Which reminds me, speaking of AI, I got to replace this out. We're going to use our AI because I pay for it, damn it. Um, so anyhow, Happy New Year. We're done with this. I'm going to put in my depressing It's Cold as F winter background in here. I'm going to use Adobe Firefly for this because it comes with my Creative Cloud prescription. Yes. Yeah, I have a Creative Cloud prescription. Um, the doctor says I have to take it and pay out the ass for it. Okay, cold and lonely winter night. And probably helps if I spell winter and lonely. Lonely winter night. There's too many A's in lonely. Let's try that. Cold and lonely. In the deep dark night. We'll do widescreen. I'm just gonna go with the latest version of their ethical AI model. I of course use air quotes because we are talking about Adobe after all. And you can only say ethical so much in relationship to Adobe. Those aren't bad, but with I've done this before and kind of got a similar thing with no people. It's even colder and we'll try that. I'm probably just going to grab one of these. You know, there's still people in here. All right, I'm going to find the one I like the most. Cold winter night in the forest. With no people, we'll do that. I think I'm going to go with, I think that one. Yeah, that looks depressing. We're going with that. It's download that. I'm going to pop over to, that was the wrong thing. I'm going to go over to my download and use that as the background. Date modified. That is my desktop. That is my downloads. That is the lonely. And we're going to put that onto the desktop background. There we go. All right, there we are. Winter. I could upscale it, but I don't care. It's depressing. Anyhow, back to this thing. Let me see. 2D pattern. Edit. I mean, I can transform pattern, but that's what I got right here, right? If we right click, I don't get an actual scale option. I can drag these corners and scale it that way, which is what I'm probably going to end up doing instead of wasting time. Create, edit. Oh no, that missed. I was clicking. Let's try this again. Let's try that. I'm just going to double check and make sure I really am not missing. It'd be scary if the thing was just right in front of me the whole time. I'm not seeing it. You know what we're going to do? I'm going to line this up so it centers up on the thing. We're trying to get that lined right up on my center line there. I hate how snappy this thing is. There we go. And then the idea is we're going to drag this corner to that center line, and it should make it half the size, right? Except these tools are garbage for precision. All right, let's see how that works out. Our target value is going to be 5. 4.9. Of course. Let's see if we can make that a little bit larger. Five. All right, that's probably good enough. Okay, so we're going to take this. I'm going to... It's all over the place now because, of course, that didn't scale. It just all the individual parts scaled. Yo, DJ Ray, how are you doing, buddy? You know what? Let's Control A. Let's freeze everything. Oops. Let's freeze everything. Let's unfreeze just this. Let's make that all strong. Let me just turn gravity off. Go to simulation properties somewhere in here. I'm clicked in the wrong window. We're just going to make sure gravity is set to 0. It is. Always good. How's everybody else? Doing well, Ray. Doing well. And how do you spell Padre Ray again? DJ Ray? Something like that. Alrighty. I'm going to freeze one of these little squares. And then we'll see how this goes. And we'll see if I can get this pulled back into shape. Not quite. You know what? I have to... I'm gonna tweak this a little bit. I see what I'm doing. I'm gonna add little holding pieces in here. So we're gonna start with this one, which is over here. I should save a better version of this is what I need to do. I should save one that's 5mm is what I should do. So anyhow, this is going to be 2 by 5. Actually, we're going to make that 1 by 5. Say, okay, I need 2 of those. Like that. Party on, Wayne. I'm going to sew you to you. You to you. Pull those down. Boom. Okay. Now I think I got to sew... I'm lost. Okay, now I think I sew these two, this one over here. And I need to see which side's which. Okay, that's in the right spot there. That one. You know what? I think I have to flip these backwards. I think this gets sewn into here. And that gets sewn into here. I'm going to do we're going to adjust the additional thickness to be pretty low for what we're doing right now. Okay, I should have sewn. Okay, you can kind of see. That should have turned out. I'm going to hide the bottom one. Just because it's just kind of in the way right now. Of course, I didn't select anything despite the fact I boxed over all. That just would have been silly, right? Deactivate pattern sewing. I'm just going to hide that. And then we're just going to focus on getting this set up. And why are you flipping weird? One of these is backwards. And you're supposed to... Do I have layers on these? I don't. I don't really want layers on these, though. Let me try something with this. And of course that didn't do anything, because why should the shortcut work when I actually type it? That would just be crazy, right? Inconceivable. All right, let's see how... I'm going to try to get that lined up a little bit better into the space here. So I think bring you around like so. Bring you around. And what am I think I've got the right corner there. I think this needs to flip though, right? Yeah, this actually has to flip around. Kind of like that, so that I'm looking at the back side. I'm going to freeze that for just a second. And then we'll see how my sewing is lining up with our two our little holder pieces in there. Oops. You're supposed to... What the hell? These just aren't lining up right, are they? All right, let's try this again. I'm going to get rid of one. We're going to just leave in the other, and then I'm just going to get it sewn into onto that. Right. That's the bottom. So I want to sew you. Oh, you're not even sewn in. There's my problem. Doy. I think you get sewn in there. Where did the other one go? Oh, you're tweaky sideways. There we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. All right, we're getting there. We're slowly going to build this out. I'm going to spend like all night just building one stupid knot again. It's not even connecting up properly. But that's what it's supposed to kind of... What did it... My shape broke. What the... What the hell? And you know what? I've got all these weird pins in here. I'm going to get rid of... Or tacks. I have all these tacks. I'm going to lose the tacks. It might have been a problem with the tacks. It's not a problem with the tacks. You know what? I'm going to re-import this and try again. Because I can't tell what the world thinks it's doing. I have no idea what happened to that. It's like it all shrunk into infinity. Yep, lots of what the hell. If only I could scale this and not have it go kaplooey. And I'm trying to think if I could steal if I've done this recently and I could steal one from something else. And I'm not remembering. So anyhow, let's, you know what? I'm just going to unsew everything and resew everything and do this that way. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But apparently I've got something amiss here. So let's do, and I'm just going to get rid of all of this sewing. And then when I do this, it's going to have all sorts of weird energy. It's going to do goofy shit like that. So let's start with this piece. Let me Control F that. And I'm going to just bring you down here. You didn't move. Oh, you went over there. Now I'm on the inside looking out. Okay, so that's the back side. You know what? I want this to be, I want that to face like that. So that's a start right there. Okay, now I'm going to freeze that and hopefully it stays frozen. And you know what? I'm going to, maybe if I add a little bit more particle density in here, we might have something a bit easier to work with. Okay, then I want to get, so I'm kind of thinking that is going to come over to here. So I'm going to sew this in. I think I forgot to freeze that. There we go. So that goes into there. So I'm going to freeze that. Okay, this is going to get sewn onto here. Like so. I'm eventually going to make a bow out of that. We'll get that sorted out. Okay, so that's good. Then what I want to do is I want to take this and sew it onto that part right there. Oh. I think I'm upside down. Anyhow, so let's sew that onto here. I don't see it. Oh, there it is. I see it now. There we go. Okay, then we'll make a copy of this. All right. I'm going to sew this into there. Like so. Okay. I'm going to sew this onto that. I think I'm going to start with this side. That's going to shoot right through here. See, that was unhappy, wasn't it? I'm going to back that up again. I'm going to freeze these and then do that, and then it snaps through. And why are you not? There we go. And here, from here, I can do this. Baby steps. All right, so that's lining up right. Then I want to take the end of that and sew it to the end of this, which is right here and here, right? So I think I can do that, and let's see if that rolls around. I might have to tweak it a little bit to get it to work right, because odds are it's going to just get weird. See, it got itself twisted. I'm trying to see if I can just untwist it by maybe dragging it out and easing it back. There we go. We're getting there. Progress. Then I'm going to take this. This is the part that I'm going to connect into here. So I'm going to take a measurement. I think this just needs to be a 10, because I think that's a 30. And so I think I can just delete this. I'm going to make this 10. And I have to flip that around a little bit. So the whole thing needs to turn around. Let's, I think I can maybe, well, how big are you? Are you a nice even number? Of course not. That would have been too easy. Why didn't I set this up as a nice even number? Oops, too far. I'm going to zoom in. And we're just going to grab this and just drag it until that gets to 10. Actually, that should be 12.5, I think. There we go. That's 12.5. Now I'm going to sew this onto this. I think that's actually too big. I need to measure that. My brain's not braining. This one right here, what are you? Oh, you're 20. So if I have 5, that means 15. That means that needs to be 7.5. Okie dokie. And well, you know what? The easiest thing is once I get this one done, I can just dupe it and flip it around. So I don't even need the other part anymore. We are looking for 7.5, thereabout. So this one down here, I'm just going to lose that. Because I'm just going to duplicate this one. I'm going to unfreeze this. Let it kind of straighten itself out a little, if it can. Okay, I think that's good. So what I'm going to do is, I think if I unfreeze these, and I'm going to switch these to be quad optimized. All right, so I'm going to unfreeze. I'm going to unfreeze that one and let it settle. There we go. That's good. Okay, I'm going to freeze all of this stuff up. These and that. And then what I want to do is I want to make copies of these, and I'm going to sew them on the outside of this. Like so. And we're just going to kind of put that kind of right about there. Those I got to unfreeze. And can I just sew them? I think I can just sew them here. So that works. Then I can just copy all of this except for these two. I'll bring these back down in a minute. And then I'm going to flip all of this around and kind of line it up. So C and V, and drag that down like so. And I'm just going to rotate the pattern piece so it just lines up with this. And then I think I want to bring you around like so. We're getting there. I'm going to kind of line that up a little bit better into here. Actually, I'm going to pull that out a little bit so they're not touching each other. Although it's going to... Yep, all right, it's good. It's good. We're getting there. I can take these and sew them onto this. So that's going to go there. And then I want that. Nope, I can't see what I'm doing. I want that to come to there. Is good. Select all of this. And pop those into place. Excellent. All right, it's getting there. Now I just have to take these ends and get them sewn into where this thing is. And that's going to make for a really nasty kind of little mess in there. So what I think I'm going to do is let's unstrengthen that and unstrengthen that. And I'm going to unstrengthen that. I think, oh, I had the gravity turned off too. Did that not change? That didn't change to the right color. That's better. I don't think that changed either. There we go. And this is going to get a little complicated. I think I'm going to try to get this sewn into here. That can go away now. And that piece there. You are upside down. You know what? This is all probably upside down, isn't it? That one's... I'm going to flip you over. Yeah, that works. Okay. Where am I sewing you into? Where are you? Right there. This gets sewn in right about here. I'm moving it all down here where it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. So I think that one there. Yep, okay. This one here. So that to that. And I think this is backwards, but let me, you know what, this still might be right. All right, I'm going to hit save in case when everything explodes. Oops, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to unfreeze. I still have some of these frozen. And I'm going to make sure some of this stuff is still strengthened. So let's, and I can't tell what I'm doing. Those look good. There we go. I'm going to do the same thing for these two. Make sure they're not frozen, but are strengthened. Let me just double check. Freeze is an option. Okay, I think we're good. All right, hit save. Activate the simulation. It's kind of working. Actually, you know what? Closer, and then I'm going to move it closer, and then we'll simulate. So it doesn't pick up so much energy. Where'd you go? There you are. And I know I've got some weird stuff going on in here, so I'm hoping that this will still work out. All right, let's try that. We're getting there. If I do this, and we'll just let it try and settle. You know what? It's kind of working. And then in DAZ Studio, I can delete these little holder pieces and it'll untie itself. And you know what? I'm going to put gravity back on so we can get it to kind of start drooping now. Gravity. I'm going to just do some light gravity there. Let's do a little bit more gravity. And what I want to do is I think I can go ahead and freeze these up. So I think they're ready. They're in pretty decent shape. And then we can unstrengthen everything else. So hopefully it'll droop nicely. Kind of like that. Looks like you're stuck on something, so maybe we can get you to... Did I lose my gravity? No, I got gravity. You're just not moving. You know what? I'm gonna put a fabric on these. We need something really light, right? Like a silk something something, I want to say. Although I can't find it anymore. There used to be a silk something something that worked really well. But darn if Marvel's designer didn't change the names of all their materials. Now I can't tell what's what anymore. So we're trying to find something super floppy is what we really are looking for. And those all look floppy. But there used to be a silk that was even floppy. Was it a knit though? I'm looking at the little picture and seeing if something shows up that looks... we do that. Additional thickness for collision. Can I just say 0 on that? Pressure. Why am I doing pressure? It's bogging down. Oh no. I'm going to increase gravity even more. We're going to do whack gravity. 20,000. Hola, Atherin. How are you doing today? I'm trying to add a tie to this bodice top. We're working on a rogue outfit. And I'm doing my supers. You know what? I'm trying to add an undoable knot. I think I'm almost there. If the stuff would just bend down like it had some weight to it. It's probably as good as I'm going to get it. D-force it will flop like a mutter futter. I think that's as good as it's going to get. I think I'm going to be happy with that. All right, let's stop that. I'm going to freeze this up. Control K. And I'm going to clean this back up. Then we're going to add a cloak or a cape. I think a cape. So there, I got my lacing done. I think I'm at that point in the night where it would behoove me to turn Marvelous Designer off and then reopen it because it's gotten really boggy again. So we're going to hit save and we're going to shut it down and open it up. I kind of suspect the undo cue backs things up, but I could be wrong. It could be Marvelous Designer just gets tired. All right, 1 hour in the stream, and I added my tie. I got to remember to save that 5mm one. Because I've got 2 other outfits with 5mm laces that I'm going to use on that. You know what we're going to do? We're going to grab that and we're going to save it as a garment so I can access it later. And then I'm going to cry when I see there's a 5mm one sitting out there waiting already. All right, let's reload. Recent Night Veil outfit. Okay, let's come over here. I'm going to tighten this up just a little bit, then I'm going to save the knot as a garment. You know what I want to do is I want to kind of put these, kind of line them up in here. Bring this down a little. Like that. Then we're going to select these and then file, save as garment selected. This is going to be bow knot 5mm. So hopefully I don't have to do this again. Okay, and then I need bracers and I need a cloak. Bracers are easy. And then at some point we're going to start chopping these up. We already have the boots. The boots are saved elsewhere. We have to still finish the boots. So maybe Saturday we'll be working on the boots and the daggers. Shift A. Let's bring the avatar back in here. I'm going to run it from here to here. I'm just going to do a simple, I'm going to start like that. We're going to quad optimize that. So I'm going to, what do I want to do? I want to rotate you around like so, and then bring you like that. And we're just going to position this over the arm. Maybe rotate a little bit, kind of like that. I'm going to start with a cylinder and we'll chop up some details into this, I think. Okay, let's put you here and CV like so. I'm going to just flip the normals on that one though. Bring you down here. So you are there. You are there. So that to that. And then this to this. We're going to make this narrower on the wrist. I'm going to turn gravity off again. And we're just going to pull these 1, 2, 1, 2. Let's see how that's lining up. Yeah, that's going to be good. Probably up a little high. I'm going to chop it down because I want it down into about here. And I'm going to set it up so there's a flat part, and then we'll chop straps out of the bottom part. So I'll probably make this shorter and then this longer, but first things first, let's take these down so they're not on the elbow. Maybe a little bit further up. Maybe right in there. I think that'll be fine. Am I simulating? I'm simulating because I want to kind of drag it around a little bit. I want this seam lining up more with the wrist. And let's see, is the other seam? See, the other seam's looking good. And then I'm going to make this top part shorter and this part longer. So we'll take that, maybe 1 and 2, and we'll just add that back over here and see how that works out. I probably should have did that. There we go. That'll do. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Let's Control D that. So it gets put to the other side. I haven't decided how I want to do the cloak. I want to try doing it out of a rectangle, but I am not optimistic that that'll look good. So I'll probably end up doing a semicircle. But let's start, because I kind of have an idea what I sort of want to do. I kind of want to pull it and bunch it. There we go. So we're going to put this in the back. Oops. I'm going to make a little piece I'm going to stick right in front of the neck, and then we're just going to sew it and pull the rest of it back over. Also, I kind of want to have a little flip over on that too. So I'm just going to add a little doohickey like that. I may or may not keep this shape. We'll see how it goes. But I'm going to kind of just put it right up in here. I think I'm going to make it longer and then we'll make it shorter. So it's out, extended out past the neck. Like that. And then what I want to do is that and that. So let's try, let's see, that point lines up with this. You are the inside, you are the outside. So I'm going to go like so. And just line that like there. And then it's thinking. And you are the inside, and you are the outside. And we're going to kind of maybe pull that over there. I think that went too far. And now it's thinking. We'll fix that. See, that's supposed to be right there. Did the other one do funny stuff too? Now it's in a semi-perpetual state of wanting to think about everything. I think this is looking good. All right. So we select this and we're just going to freeze that. So that isn't going to go anywhere. Bring you up here. And then do this. And these should pull onto that. And then I can kind of see which direction I kind of want to go with the cloak or the cape. I have no gravity on. We'll put a little bit on. We'll do 20% G, thereabouts. That just wants to fly around the back, doesn't it? Oh no, I've got layers on. I have to, that's what's really following me up right now. Let's put a layer on here. Let's say 25. I know that pretty much is gonna make sure it sits on top of everything else. Let me see if I can get this over. That's a bit larger than what I actually wanted. I think I'm gonna maybe space these out further and maybe pull this in a little tighter. And I think I might want to just put a little piece that I'm going to flip over on here. I'm not going to do a hood on this outfit. Uh, we're currently avoiding hoods. You know what? I can unfreeze that and it probably will. Yep. Cool. Maybe we'll go with that. I'm going to hit save on this. You know what? I'm going to set that to 1500. I should have chose proper lengths with these earlier. 1500. Problem with cloaks is it's kind of heavy on the simulation. All right, that's 1500. Let's make that 1500. The other way. Ooh, looks like there's some kind of metal concern. Oh, I heard about that. Oh no, it's the alien contagion. Ruh-roh. We're going to make that 800. Going to make this one 800. You know, it's that alien organism we've always worried about. Okay, then I'm going to add a little. I'm going to add a little on top of this. So we're going to say 1500. And what if I say 200? I'm going to do that. Set you to be optimized quads. I'm going to freeze that. I want to sew, I don't know, where are you? I want to sew that to this. If I just do that and that, so that's backwards. We do that to that. I think that works. Let's put you over here. Let's see how this goes. NASA says he's stable, which is good. Long trip to the hospital. Yeah. All right, let's set the layer on this to be 30. I'm going to back this up to there. Set the layer to be 30 and then run this. Impatiently wait while it works its way back out. All right, it's not working its way back out. I was kind of thinking something like that, but I don't know if I'm going to keep it. I'm not sure that adds enough. I think that just adds complication to the. I think that just is going to cause the sim to fail in DAS. I think that's what I'm ultimately ending up with here. Uh, it really doesn't want to stay on top, does it? Yeah, I'm not thinking I like that. I'm probably just going to put a cut through here and just make it look a little different. More likely, a bug somebody brought up from Earth mutated, or stroke or heart attack. There is that, yeah. Food poisoning. Something. He probably saw one of Trump's speeches and went, I understand Trump recently gave a speech on dancing. Oh God, don't get you started. That's right. All right, must not wind Rod up. I'm gonna tweak on this a little bit further, I think. Actually, I think I want to kind of put a cut through here, then sew that to that. You know what? I don't think I really need that to be layered on top anymore. I think it'll be fine, except I've got other stuff that's layered. That's right. Can I take... I might be able to get away with turning all my layering off. We'll try that. And I kind of want these to be further apart. I want this to be closer together. And I also want this not sewn onto the edge, but sewn just past the edge, which is, this is the edge here. So, you know what? I'm going to spread these two. I need to, you know what? I'm going to split you. And we'll do a uniform split on that so I get a center point, right? And I'm going to take this. Maybe, maybe not. And I'm going to just eyeball, you know what? I'm going to put a split right about here, then move this over. Then I'll do the same thing over here. So let's put a split maybe right there. I'm going to pay attention to that number there and say 250. Say okay. Come over here. And put a split in there. Let's say 250. And okay. And then we're going to move. Then we're just going to move this over to here. Going to move the other side. I'm back in that where it's got to think about everything now. All right, let's see how this works. And then I do want to make this smaller. So where are you? Are you like way down here now? Yep. All right, we're going to offset as an internal line. Okie dokie. Actually, I wanted to do farther than that. I want to offset as an internal line. I want to do it 25. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And then I'm going to sew that. We're going to cut and sew these. Then I'm going to make this shorter and sew it into that inner line. All right, cut and sew. It has to think about it. Right, move that. All right, we're going to delete these. I'm going to make this shorter. What are you? Yeah, not to worry. Do I have a layer on that? Because I want it to sit on top. Oh, cool. Look at the way it twisted around itself. Way to go, marvelous designer. All right, let's is it gonna work this time? Hey, it actually worked. How freaking unusual is that? I think, am I backwards though? I think my sewing needs to be flipped. Yeah, we're gonna reverse the sewings. Okay, I think I'm good. All right, let's watch this. Then it should come from here to over here. And we might just want to move them down a little bit, but we'll see how this lines up. Is that looking good? Maybe I just need to make it tighter. Yeah, I think we'll try maybe tighter. We'll try that. So I'm going to just move you out a little bit. And I don't know, I wish, can I? I'm kind of eyeballing it. Dang it. Come on. There we go. All right, let's see how this works out. It's like the shape I want it to have, and then there's the shape that I get. and seldom are they the same. That might be okay. We'll see how that works out. All right, I got my cloak. I don't know if I'm going to make it shorter or not, but I think that's a start. All right, let's start chopping things up into little zones. And then I think we'll pop over in the blender and see if we can tweak the boots just a little bit further. And that should be enough to get us to the, you know what, I'm going to put there and there. Actually, we'll do them baby steps. Do here. Offset as an internal line. Say 20 on that. We'll do a cut and sew. And that. And the other side. Offset as internal line. 20, okay. Cut and sew those. Okay, this I'm probably going to do a fake chain attachment on that. So that's just going to be done as a texture. All right, we're going to add our trim lines here. Do that. Offset as a turn line. That one I just want to be 2.5. And say okay on that. And actually what I should do, I'm going to undo that. We'll come back to that. We're going to put our trim lines through here. Those are going to be 5s. I'm going to cut and sew all of that. I should start arranging the UVs on this too. We're going to run trim line through here. Actually, I'm going to run it through here to begin with. There, and there. Those are all 5s. I'm going to put trim line there, 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 there. Did I cut and sew those? Those don't look like they were. Damn it. Okay, then what do I want to do? I wanted my 2.5 right there. Cut and sew that. I want to add a 5mm line there, 5mm line there, and a 5mm line there and there. I'm going to cut and sew those. Okay, so I don't need a line here and here. I need one of these, and I need one there. Put one right there. Oh no, they were all. You know what? I'm just gonna stick with 2.5s. Actually, I wanted those to be 5s. We got to back up. Dang it, dang it. Okay, these are going to be 5s. I forgot to switch that to 5. There we go. Okay. Cut and sew, cut and sew, cut and sew. Come on. Come on. There we go. Okay, so that's a 5 and that's a 5. I don't need one here because it's right up against that line right there. Cut and sew those. That is a trim line onto itself. So I think I'm good on the top. That is probably good. Although I want to. Nah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so do I need to do anything on the belt? I don't know. I want to detail the belt out further. I'm going to add my trim lines on here. All right, so we're going to. I don't need these on this outfit. I'm going to get rid of those. If this was pantyhose, that would be a hip area, but this is a one pair of tight pants. I am going to put a seam line there. And you know what? While I'm at it, oh, here we need one on the bottom cuffs first. So let's do that. That one's going to be a little bit thicker. I think I'll make that maybe 15. And we'll cut and sew those. Dang it. And then I want a thin one right there, 2.5. That goes through the crotch. The back of the crotch actually. Cut and sew that. Then I'm going to want to put little 5 there and there. There, and then I'm just going to run 5s on this side. Say okay to those. This is all pant trim. Cut and sew those. I think that is good for the pants. All right, let's tweak the arm bracers a little bit. You know what? I'm going to put little curves on this, and we're going to make 1, 2, 3 strappy lines or something on here. I'm going to run a bunch of internal lines in here and then get rid of like every other one or something. Offset is internal line along a curve. So I'm going to need a. So that's 3. So I need maybe 8. Is that what I want? And then I put one here, one in the middle, and one over here. But I have 9. I want one in the middle and 2 on the, you know what? I do that. You know what? We're going to do that. I'm going to say okay to that. Offset as an internal line. I say 20. You know what? That's actually, cancel that. That and that. Those are almost 20s. So I'm just going to cut those. And then what I want to do is I want to do 10 off the either side of that. Best viewers. Hell yeah, I got the best viewers. But you know what? Nothing personal. You smell like a bot. And I don't have a window where I can delete you right off the bat. What does that thing do? Let's do that. Come over here. I think I can ban you in this window. There's the ban button. Boom. All right. I don't know if anybody saw that or not. All right. Offset as an internal line 10. Offset as an internal line 10, but we're going to reverse the direction on that one. And then I'm going to take that and that. No, actually, I'm going to take that and cut those. That I don't need anymore. And then this, and this can go away. Same thing over here. We're going to add little curves to this. So let's break out the curve tool, the smooth curve tool, and just put a little bit of a, I'm going to pay attention to what I'm doing this time. And the magic number today is about 12. Right about in there. It's actually 11.9. That's 12. On the nose. 12 on the nose. There we go. All right. You can't see them now because there's a cloak in the way. I'm going to hide that. There we go. You can see what I'm doing with the arms now. I'm going to put a knife sheath or something on that, I think. All right, I think this is good for now. I think we'll quickly finish up the boots. So that's where we are. We've got our bracers, our pants. We got a belt. I got to figure out what I want to do with the belt. I've more or less got the bodice finished up. I think my cloak is going to look okay. So let's hit save on that. I think I actually exported the boot out already. I'm going to go ahead and turn Marvelous Designer off. We're going to activate Blender. We'll bring Blender over here where you can see it. Get that over there. Oh, you taking off, Art? All right, take care, buddy. We will catch you later, man. Import projects. And once again, let's hear that art sound. All right, where were we? Fantasy. This is the Night Veil. This is in the whip folder. I have a boot. A boot, one alone. So that's what we did in Marvelous Designer. We're going to thicken it up and we're going to add a sole. I'm going to add kind of a wedgie sole on here. I think that's the plan for today. Oh no. Oh no. It's triangles. That means we have to open up Marvelous Designer again and resave the boot. You got a piano, or is it a banjo? Oh, heck. All right, let's file. Oh, I hate that thing. Is there a thing that says, don't show again? There it is. Let's do that. Every time I get over here, that window pops up and I have to close it again. File, open, project, Night Veil boots. There we go. Let's select all of this. Let's say quad optimized. Let's try it. It doesn't let me do them all at once. Maybe we can do half of them at a time. Okay, I think we're good. All right, let's try file, export, OBJ selected, Night Vale boots, and these are for the G9, and we're going to replace that. And is this looking good? Thin and weld, those are the important ones. So we're going to get rid of you and re-import. There we go. That's much better. Let's see how our face orientation's going, just to make sure. Looking good. I'm going to 3A mesh normals. Reset vectors. Also, I gotta flip these bottom ones, don't I? Oops. Oh no. Dang it. What if oh, Farfignugan. Maybe we can do this. There we go. And then we can flip those. And then I can maybe reset the vectors. That's better. And then we're going to extrude that. Kind of like so. I want to add a little bit more edge to this. So we're going to extrude along face normals just to pull that out just a little bit like so. Then I want to flatten this. So scale Z0, GZ. So I'm just going to pull it down just like that. It's going to be a little bit of a wedge. I'm going to add a little bit of an indent in here. And I think I'm going to straighten some of these lines out. From here to... Or maybe not. You know what? Maybe I'll just leave them like that. I think I'll start... You know what? We'll just do it this way. Pull it a little bit up that way. And you know what? I can do this. Do it like this. And bring that up ever so slightly. So that's going to be our weird rogue boot, I think. All right, we want to add some thickness to this. So I think I'm going to... But I only need an inside, not all the way through. You know what? We can kind of... Which way are you going? That works. Because then I can just kind of expand that down to about there, I think. And then we can kind of Shift D that, separate that selection out, hide the first one, come into here, do a little solidify on that. That is a generate, that is a solidify. 0.003, maybe 2.002. I think we'll do that. Apply that, tab into here. So we're going to hide that edge. Actually, this edge I can delete. This edge I'm going to hide. This stuff here, we're going to delete that. And then I'm just going to combine this with that and weld that edge together. Select all. Where'd it go? Dang it. There it is. Okay, select all. Merge by distance. Just double check that my side. Yep, really good. So I should see that is, yeah, okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. I'm kind of thinking that's all I really want to do for the boot. So I'm going to, do I want to subdivide it here or subdivide it? You know what? I think I'm going to subdivide it in DAS. But we are going to assign some materials to this. All right. Boop. Boot. So let's clean these up and give that a color so I can actually spot it if it's in here. And we'll do that. So if it is a color, he got no color. He didn't change anything. Boot trim. Boot front. Or you just boot. I'm not seeing anything. There we go. Oh yeah, there they are. Looking good. There's my trim didn't go all the way around. Oh dang. And I don't think I wanted it to go through here. Or do I? Actually, I kind of like that. I don't need it down here. I do like that. And you know what? We'll assign that to trim. Then I'm going to actually hide that. So then I can select this. And that'll be boot interior. And assign that. Get that a color. You know what? I'm going to do that. And this is midsole right through here. Okay, this is the welt. And then, did I say? I did say I did want that to be trim. So I think that's it. I think my boot's good. I think it's set up for Genesis 9, and I think it will fit with a 5-degree bend in the foot and the toes. Let's go ahead and let's UV map this. And we'll do this in steps. Let me get that color selection back up here. And I'm going to mark seams. We're going to mark a seam there. I'm going to mark a seam right there. Where's my... Oh, I didn't change the color for the midsole, did I? Oh, you're about to fall out. It's been all right. Hey, thanks for being here, Rod. We'll catch you later, buddy. I appreciate you hanging out as long as you did. Oops. I just did something in Blender, typing out Rod's command. There we go. Yo, DZ's still here. And I'm going to change the color of the welt to, maybe that. Okay, I think I'm good. Okay, I can select that and UV map it. Actually, I'm going to just finish marking seams. I want one there, and I want one there. I think I probably want to run a seam from here to here. Want to take a seam through here. Do I want to, you know what, I'm going to bring it around this way. And that'll be a separate part of the trim. So I'm going to mark a seam there. Uh-oh, I'm missing. So I want to mark a seam through here. I don't have the whole seam selected just yet. I'm getting there. There we go. And this needs a split in it somewhere. Probably I'll run one right there. And then I think this should work. Okay, I think we're ready to, I think I can just actually, and let me put a little split right there. And one right there. And I'm also going to put matching on the toe. All right, let's see how this does. 3A and U, and let's unwrap. Yeah, that came out. Except you, oh, I need to put I should probably split that in the back. Right there. Oops, there's one more little spot right there. Unwrap that. There we go. Okay, we're going to put this into half of the map. Break out the pack master. Where are you? Advanced packing. Custom target box. X 0.49. Is that right? Looking good. I realized you can actually type numbers in here. That was there we go. And then we're going to mirror this, and then we'll make sure we use a mirror modifier for the UVs. I have 4 minutes. I might be able to rig this, at least start rigging it, and make myself cry and dazz. Let's do that. Let's add a mirror modifier on here. Looking good. Let's come over here to the data and make sure we mirror those UVs on the U axis. Okay. Back over the layout. Let's hit save. Have I not saved this? Oh, I guess I didn't. Okay. Night Vale boots. Oh, that's right. It was just fresh out of Marvelous Designer. Should be good. And then I can export this. Only the selected. I'm going to say Night Vale boots G9. Export that. Open up DAS. I got 2 minutes. I may just get this on. 2 minutes isn't really enough time to rig. I need 5. But as we're coming up on 9, we're going to be looking for somebody to raid here shortly. Hey, so if you're on YouTube, thanks. Like and subscribe. If you're on Twitch, I really appreciate it. If you want to stick around for the raid, that would be awesome. It is Thursday. I'm not sure who we're going to raid. It might be Dan. Bad Tooth Records, Dr. DK. There we go. Genesis 9 has been loaded into the scene. Let's get that over there. Let's close that timeline. We don't need you. Let's get a little bit more room in here. All right, let's import in the boots. That's my import button. We're in the fantasy folder, we're in the Night Vale folder, we're in the whip folder, and those are the boots we just exported. Okay, so I think it's either a 10 degree or a 5 degree. I want to say 5 degree bend in the feet. We'll try that first. Nope, it's a 10. It's a 10. And then we'll put the toes -10. Maybe not. Maybe it's a little more than 10. Let me turn the lit wireframe and see where we are. Ten is about right. Maybe if I say -12 and we do 12 over here, I'm never going to remember 12. Why in the world do I want to do 12? I think I just need to tweak the boots a little bit more. I think we'll just pull the top up a little. So I'm going to set those back to 10. Let's go right to left. All right, let's turn this back to... All right, so we're going to pop in here and we're just going to adjust the boot just a little bit to fit that toe in there. So I can leave it at 10 and -10, which is a nice, easy to remember number for me. Also, I probably need to make that a little bit wider to fit the pants, so we're going to do that as well. Okay, so can I just come through here? Little proportional editing, looking good. I'm going to pull that up. We'll adjust our fall off. So I'm going to do that again. So I'm just going to pull that up a little bit like so. And then, you know what? I'm just going to grab that. And we'll just scale on the X a little bit. pull that out like so. How are you lining up on the front and the back? You're okay on the front. Your sides are a little tight. Okay. All right, now we'll export this back out. Actually, I want to pull that toe up just a little bit more. Maybe through here. I don't like that. I'm going to undo that. Let's see how this is actually looking. And it's 9:02. So I'm going to just bring this in and call it a night. Delete that, re-import. I still got a little bit of a pokey through in there. I'm going to fix this and then call it a night. Let's do that. So let's pull. Let's just pull that out a little like so. And then maybe up a little bit. And try that. And I think that might be good enough. All right, I'm going to call it here. I still have to rig the boots up, but they're kind of lining up. I think the pants will fit. So that's where we're leaving off for today. Where we got in here, I got my boots. All right, so we finished up the tie. I spent an hour doing a knot. We blocked out the cape. Actually, the cape might be close to done. The bracers, I think they look kind of simplistic now, but I think I'm just going to touch them up with textures. The pants, I think, are in good shape. The belt, I need to do something to the belt. But other than that, I think the rest of the parts are almost ready to start coming in here. So anyhow, thank you all for being here. Let's see if we can find somebody to raid. Once again, D Zhang, good to see you, man. I hope everything's going well with you. If you're check out our good friend D Zhang over at Renderosity and the other places. Yeah, an awesome artist. Where are we? We are here. I'm going to go over to my Twitch. I will be back Saturday, 1 p.m. for more 3D stuff. We'll probably be working on the Rogue outfit, and I actually started 2 other outfits and a towel today while finishing up my Wild Fang outfit, which I can't show on Twitch because it's a little too much skin for Twitch. But I'm moving along with it anyhow. Josh is on. Josh is doing Fortnite though. I'm going to see if Bad Tooth Records is on. If Bad Tooth Records isn't on, we will maybe raid a Roomikin. Or we'll see if any of the art friends are on. Oh, Dapster Dan's on. You know what? I'm going to rate Dapster Dan, my good friend. He's a musician, not an art friend, but I have known Dapster Dan forever. And by forever, I mean since 2019. It feels like forever. I'm coming up on, it would be like 7 years of Dapster Dan. He doesn't stream a whole lot, but he's been getting back regularly on Thursdays. So if you can stick around for the raid, that would be awesome. If not, that's okay. Anyhow, here we go. Hey, buy my shit at Daz. There we are. Feel free to join my Discord if you haven't already. There we go. Also, Saturday, 8 p.m., it's the Saturday Night Social. If you post stuff in the gallery, we will share it on Saturday night. And we also have an old cartoon, and it's a Discord chat. So there you go. Feel free to join the Discord for that. Yeah, so we got raid calls. Hey, YouTube, like and subscribe. Thanks. I appreciate that. Twitch, stick around for the raid if you can. If not, okay. There is the I'm not a sub raid call. Here is the I am a sub raid call. And we'll do this /raid, and we'll say hi to my Good friend Appster Dan. Playing the tunes. Control V. There we go. I think this is good. All right. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. I hope you all have a good rest of a Thursday or Friday for those of you on the happy side of the planet. And hasta la vista, baby.